Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Predicts Poetry. This video is taking a look at the Edexcel International Paper 1 for poetry, and we're going to have a little look at all of the past papers that have come up over the different series of the last number of years. I will just make a caveat because I forgot to do this on My of Mice and Men. These predictions for the standard paper, they're not for the students that are sitting the regional paper, the paper with a little R next to it. Okay, unfortunately, I don't have access to the most recent ones of those, so I can't do those predictions at the moment. So if you're sitting the standard paper, the one that doesn't have the little R next to it, these poetry predictions are for you. My other little note that I always make is please make sure you revise broadly and widely. We don't have crystal balls, so make sure you're not relying entirely on prediction videos. Make sure you're covering all bases. But for now, let's get started. Okay, so having a little look at the last few years, obviously with this particular exam board, because they do a couple of different series and they always name 3 poems, there's a lot going on. But last year was Tiger and La Belle Dame, as an interesting combination, and then Hide and Seek was your named poem that you could then compare one other with. In June we had Half Caste and Remember, another interesting pairing, and then Half Past Two as individual, a little bit more sensible. The series before that, Sonnet 116 and My Last Duchess, that's a much nicer pairing, and Do Not Go Gentle, and you can read through the rest. This is obviously tricky to predict, because there are so many poems. But some of the things I've been thinking about, War Photographer and Prayer Before Birth haven't come up for a little while. Prayer Before Birth, not since 2019, and War Photographer May 20th. And if they've been kind to us, they might give that to us as a connection, because that's quite a nice one. So maybe that's a possibility. I also wondered about If, because that's not come up since January 2020. And like Prayer Before Birth and War Photographer, these ones have only come up once. And I thought If and Poem at 39 would be quite a nice pairing, like looking at relationships between parents and children, and like the way that they've inspired us, advice lessons, those sorts of things. And again, Poem at 39 has only come up once as well. So that's quite a nice shout. I've chucked Piano in as a possibility, because that's again only been seen once in May 20. But I say this, they are not afraid of repeating poems and repeating poems quickly. You know, for example, you know, Half Caste has come up a good couple of times. In fact, if you look, Half Caste there and then in June 24, so you know, you can't rule anything out. I wondered about bringing Blessing back. They have done it a few times, twice here and then in the specimen, but in the way of exam boards having to be unpredictable, they might do something like that. You know, there's nothing stopping them. So as always, my advice is to revise broadly and widely. What a surprise. That's it from me. Hopefully it was helpful. Give me a shout if you have any questions. Otherwise, do subscribe, do share my videos with your buddies, because we're all in the same boat, and happy revising.